Hey, how's everybody doing? Today I'm going to be using Ariana and Evan's Asian Pear. I know I'm probably a little behind the curve on this. I did get this a while ago. I didn't really want to do a video because I didn't have the matching splash. I still don't. But I thought it had been a while. I'd do a video for you guys. Happy to be back. And yeah, I'll just get started with the shave. So this is in Peter's new base, which I did touch on in the All About the Wood video. But I'll talk about it again here. This stuff, he has somehow managed to improve his previous formula, as I said. This stuff is really good. Basically everything he set out to improve, he did. So it was mostly an improvement in slickness and an improvement in the creaminess and density of the soap. And I'd say it's an improvement in both categories. And this is a lot of growth. I think it's probably about 5 days. So I'm just getting off of being sick. I went on a trip for 2 weeks. Well, not quite. More like a week and a half. I went to San Francisco for 4-ish, 5 days. And then I went to New York for 5 days as well. It was really awesome. It was mostly like San Francisco did a bit of sightseeing. I went with Annette and ate some really good food. So I went for my birthday. It was just recently my birthday. So I am a quarter of a century now, 25 years old. Getting old. I say that in jest though, but I am kind of getting close. But anyway, yeah, so spent my birthday in San Fran, and then Annette's birthday was just a few days after mine, so we're in, okay, that's gonna fall. Just another soap I have in here. But we spent her birthday in New York. So that was really cool. So I mean, the trip was basically just for our birthdays. And sorry, haven't talked about the soap yet. The scent is really nice. It's fruity. It's kind of along the same lines of Asian pear, I'd say. But Asian plum. But I'd say this one's a little fruitier. There's like a different kind of sweetness. Like Asian plum has kind of more of like a dark fruitiness to it, whereas this one's a little bit more of that crispness. I mean, like obviously pear versus plum, but yeah, this one's really nice. Still has that same kind of spiciness to it. So very nice. I think if you enjoyed Asian plum, you will enjoy Asian pear as well. They're definitely not the same, but I'd say they're at least a cousin to each other, like pretty similar, but both are unique and both are good. So I don't really know the notes. Honestly, I feel like notes aren't necessarily the best indicator of if you'll like something, because kind of like with me, I avoided Declaration Grooming's Yuzu Rose Patchouli because I do not like patchouli much, and I ended up really enjoying that scent because the patchouli was much less forward than the name kind of implied, and the scent notes as well. So I mean, it's really not too much of a patchouli scent. It's definitely more of a rose scent, at least to my nose. So yeah, I don't know the scent notes on this, but at the same time, like, I feel like scent notes aren't 100% indicative of like if you're gonna like a scent or not. It really just depends on the perfumer's nose, you know, and how the proportions of the scent blend, I think. Because it could have like a note that you don't like, but there could be like very little of it. Like even the wood soap, Peter put some cedar in there. I'm typically not a huge fan of cedar, but I love that scent, so there we go. But anyway, this is the return of a razor I haven't used in a while. This is going to be my Max Sprecher. This is kind of the OG Max Sprecher at this point. It's an 8/8 quarter hollow straight spine. Haven't used the straight spine in a while. I got the abalone with the abalone and pink pearl inlays on the spine, and also got some file work on the tang. So yeah, this is I think this is the oldest Sprecher I have. It's a little over a year old now. Yeah, the other reason I haven't shaved for the past couple days is I had a pimple right there. Still kind of do, but it's mostly gone now. But yeah, I'll just kind of talk about my trip a little more. It was really cool. It was my first time in New York, basically. I went when I was like 2, but I don't really remember that, so I count this as my first time. And before anybody asks, I did not go to Pasteur's. I didn't really have time. So my sister lives in New York. She works for Facebook, so she had kind of like a itinerary for us of places she wanted to go, and then I went with my parents too, and they had stuff kind of, and yeah, we just kind of stayed as a group the entire time, aside from when my sister was at work. But I didn't really want to do something that only I would enjoy. So I'm sure once I start working for the airlines, I'll have a lot of opportunities to go back to New York. So I figure like just doing stuff with the whole group instead of doing something just for myself was probably the way to go on this trip. So no Pasteur's for me. I'm not really buying much anyway right now. I'm happy with what I have, at least soap wise. I mean, I'm always up for a new razor brush when I can, but right now I'm just trying to, you know, not buy everything I want right now. So yeah, just been a little slow on the acquisition front. But I feel like having like a cyclical buying and not buying phase in this hobby is pretty common. And like I'm definitely not as involved as I used to be, but I still enjoy it. I still like to shave, and I still like to talk to all my buddies, even though like I'm not super like active with that. Sorry everybody. But yeah, I'm just kind of taking a little step back, but I'm sure like eventually I'll kind of come back to it a little bit more. So I'm gonna go across here. And I will be doing that stropping video that I've been talking about for a while now. But before I do, I want you guys to leave me some questions that you have, because like one of the reasons I'm kind of putting it off is because I'm trying to think of like what I can talk about that people haven't really talked about. I guess people maybe just want to see what I do. I feel like it's nothing special. If anything, it's very like minimalistic. But yeah, I just like to know maybe any questions that you guys have, or maybe some stuff that's been left out from other stropping videos. You know, maybe questions that you still have after watching certain videos. You know, I'm by no means an expert, so I may not be able to answer certain questions, but you know, I'll do my best to like help out and answer anything I can. Just want to say real quick that this base is just fantastic. Shave has gone just exceptionally well. I mean, just it's really just mindless almost. Like, it's so easy. I don't even need to think about what I'm doing when I use this stuff. Yeah, super nice. And if you think you're going to be buying like a decent amount of A&E, I always say like getting Peter's the subscription to A&E is worth it. You know, I'm not paid by Peter. I don't really get like anything from him. Like, he's a cool dude, so he does send me some stuff every now and then, but really like he doesn't send me stuff because, you know, I'm shouting him out. It's just we're buddies. We built up a relationship. But yeah, he's not like telling me like, oh, if you say this about my stuff, like I'll send you stuff, like it's nothing like that. I really just like to shout him out because I like supporting him. I'm like probably one of the bigger A&E fanboys out there, but I think it's for good reason. His stuff is just really fantastic. Yeah, it's super smooth. Yeah, so beautiful shave. But yeah, I'll just talk about like some of the food that we got in New York. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but went to this amazing taco place called Los Tacos Numero Unos, or Numero Uno, sorry. But one of the things they had there, and for anybody that lives in New York, if you go and you haven't ordered it before, the Especial. And what that is a deep fried quesadilla. And then for an additional $2, you can make a taco out of that. And that was probably one of the greatest tacos I've ever had in my life. I did it with the adobada, which is similar to like tacos al pastor, so it's like a pork with that's on like a rotisserie, kind of like how like Middle Eastern like gyros is. But adobada, they add achiote, which is like a I think it comes from the pepper. I think it's the seed, but that was just amazing. And then we also went to a lot of places, but this was kind of like the top for me, Minetta Tavern, and I got the Black Label Burger, which is a burger made from dry aged steak. So that was probably the best burger I've ever had in my life. I hadn't really had a dry aged steak before, so I didn't really quite know like what the dry aged flavor would be like, but there was definitely, I'm gonna say funk, but it's not like anything weird. So the burger, it just comes with caramelized onions on it, and the best way I can describe it is like that kind of funkiness from it was kind of like its own cheese in a way, if that makes sense. It kind of imparts like a nuttiness and stuff to it like that. But yeah, so that was like New York. And then in San Fran for my birthday, Annette took me out to this place called House of Prime Rib, I believe it's called. I can't exactly remember the name, but they do 23-day dry aged rib roasts. That was amazing. It didn't quite have that flavor, but it was like extremely tender. I think that's what the 23-day gives it tenderness without imparting too much of that like dry aged funk flavor. I'm not too sure. I'm not a dry aging expert, but that was just my kind of experience with it. But that was super. Just it was fantastic as well. But anyway, I'll stop rambling. For my aftershave today, I'm gonna be going with Barbado. this is kind of my go-to when I don't have a matching splash or a splash that I think could be close to what I'm using. Like if I have something that's kind of along the similar vein, I'll kind of throw that on. But with this one, I don't really have anything that I think will match very well. So Barbados just kind of, really just kind of smells like alcohol. There's a light kind of orange scent to it, but it's very light. So it really just kind of smells like alcohol when it goes on, and then once it dries down, there's not too much of a scent at all. So that's nice when you're, when you're using something that you don't have a splash for, or if you're shaving at night and you just don't want a strong scent, or maybe you're going to work and you don't want a strong scent. Yeah, that's really good. So yeah, and then performance-wise, it performs excellently. It's got a lot of good skin food in it, so my face feels really good right now. But yeah, that's it for me. Like I said, if you're still watching, leave some questions about stropping or anything like that. Maybe something you want to see. I have some stuff that I'm gonna recommend that I guess I haven't seen before. Spoiler alert, practice stropping with a butter knife, that way you won't roll your edges. At least that's what I think you should do. But yeah, aside from that, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for sticking around. I noticed I gained some new subs while I wasn't uploading, which is weird because normally YouTube kind of shoves you down and no one can find your videos or anything. Algorithm's weird. At least that's what all the big YouTubers say. But yeah, thank you for the new subs, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.